Okay, so hello, everyone. I thank you for being here. I know this is a super busy time of year, and with all the ongoing pandemic issues that I know are kind of infiltrating all our lives here, I really appreciate everyone being here tonight. And as I mentioned before, we are going to have a quorum for just under an hour, hopefully as soon as Sarah joins. And before Kim has to log off. So the two top items that we want to get done tonight are voting on the mission statement and strategic plan, and also on the 2022 budget. So those are the main things. So we're going to kind of move things around in the agenda as needed. So I think what I would like to start with is I'm just going to, what we don't need to vote on. So Courtney, if you want to go ahead and just start with your report, and then when Sarah joins, maybe we can pivot to the discussion on the strategic plan, if that makes sense.
Sure, yeah. All right, so start off with COVID updates. Obviously, on December 13th, the governor mandated that masks were required in businesses, or you had to check the vaccination status of everybody that came in. This doesn't really affect us too much because we've been requiring masks since August. We did have a brief period where we thought everything was going to change and be wonderful, but realized very quickly that wasn't realistic. I have been keeping an eye on the numbers, and I think we're going to not do any in-person programming through January 8th, just to kind of see where things are at that point after the holidays. I think that things are going to get worse before they get better. So I think that without the programs, like, people don't really tend to spend a lot of time in the library. There are the people that use the computers or the study rooms or stuff, but most people just come in to check in and out. So I don't think we're really a dangerous spread area. So I'm not anticipating having to close to go to curbside or anything like that at this time, unless there's like a state mandate. But I am going to be limiting the in-person programs through January 8th, which honestly, these next 2 weeks, we don't really have a lot going on anyway, because Kristen's on vacation and Abby doesn't have anything planned until the 8th. So I figured makes it easy. We don't have a lot going on anyway. So just to make that call. For building updates, our tree has been fully removed and the stump has been ground down, and Scott just got rid of the wood chips, I think, over the weekend. So that's officially all done, which feels good. I would like to plant another tree there in the spring. Scott said he was going to ask his wife about native species, so I'll keep you posted on that. Northland Roofing came on the 15th, and I was hoping they would have an estimate for me for a roof repair by today, but I haven't gotten anything yet. And we did have another roofing company come out today, and they're going to email me what they recommend. So I got two companies to come out after like months of waiting for things to happen. I'm very happy that they are responsive. So I'll definitely keep you updated as I get estimates for those projects. The sink pipes in the staff bathroom were leaking, but Scott fixed them and he replaced the faucets. So I don't think it did any damage structurally or anything. Tom noticed it was leaking in the basement and Scott fixed it right away. So I think that's all done. And then I sent the signed proposal back to Altieri for our HVAC project. And last I heard, I think Michael sent that he's sending them plans for measurements and things like that. So things are progressing. For collection updates, we have been getting some more donations that people are just dropping off. Somebody left like 8 milk crates full of old books that we can't add to the collection the other day. So I guess we got milk crates out of it, but I'm not really sure how to address that besides more signs, but I don't think people really read the signs anyway. So and some exciting news for the end of the year that we have almost 150 items in the Bennett collection fully online now, and are almost done with scanning the first box. This box definitely took a long time, but I think we have like a lot of loose paper documents in it, so hopefully the next couple ones will move a little bit faster. And we've moved the scanning equipment upstairs to make it easier for staff to work on.
That sounds great, Courtney. And I also think it's interesting timing with what's going on at Bennett right now. You know, it's hopefully people will take advantage of that, and you can advertise about it It's great.
Yeah, I'm planning on promoting it over like the next week and a half or so, just to remind people like, hey, this exists and we're still adding to it. So it's really cool to see what we have. um, so some exciting news for the development and grant updates is that Dutchess County has awarded us a $200,000 grant for our HVAC system upgrades. Yeah, I was very excited when I got that. I think I had initially applied for 6, but I'll take 2. So I think that with the New York State construction money puts us over 500,000, which is over half the estimated cost of the project, which is really exciting.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so I haven't like signed the contract with them or anything. I don't think they published it officially, but we got it. So that was cool. I've also applied for the Stuart's Holiday Grant, which is $600 that we would use towards the upcoming summer reading program, which is crazy to be thinking about in December. But I figured that'd be a good use for it. Kristen and I applied for a $10,000 humanities grant from ALA that would cover different humanities programming, equipment purchases, and staff salary. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for that. And as of the 16th, we had raised over $20,000 from our fall appeal. I know that went up because I got a lot of really generous donations this week, but as of the 16th, that's where we were at. And I see Sarah's here, so do you want to pause?
Just to give you a quick overview, we have a quorum for a short window now. And so we're might be moving things around on the agenda so that we can definitely get the mission statement and strategic plan and the budget voted on while we have a quorum. So I think we have time. So Courtney, if you want to just continue with your report, and then when we get down to the mission statement.
Sure. So the Friends, they recently passed out hot cocoa and cookies at the Parade of Lights event, and it was a really big hit. It looked like they had a lot of fun. People really appreciated the cocoa. It was very cold, so they were excited about that. And I'm planning on asking them at their next meeting to be more involved with the book sale again, because they haven't really done anything since October 2019. And the staff is the one putting all the donations in right now. So I'd like a little bit more involvement on that front from them.
Courtney, can I maybe talk to you someday with some more details so I can be involved with that too? Because I'm not quite sure, I would like to help you get them involved and everything. So maybe I'll call you one day and you'll tell me more about it.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, thanks.
Just for Mid-Hudson Library System updates, I'm still missing some of the sexual harassment prevention training forms. And just a reminder again, this is annual training mandated by New York State. And if we don't get these all done, we're not compliant with the law, which could open us up to lawsuits in the future. God forbid if that ever happened. So I really need them by the end of the year if I haven't gotten yours already. For outreach, we worked with Angels of Light this year to sponsor 2 families. And people were very, very generous and dropped off a lot of gifts for them, and they came to pick them up last week. So that was a really good partnership, I think. We also worked with Yo Bounce Rentals, and they put out a donation box for a bunch of different places, actually, like animal shelters, I think the children's home in Poughkeepsie, and people filled that up too. So that was very cool. Something kind of neat and unique, Abby and I went to a book release luncheon at Winley Farm. So these 2 kids, Max and Karina, have written a book on the history of their farm, and they published it. So we went to like the grand revealing lunch, and they were very nice and donated a lot of copies to the library to sell. And we get to keep all the proceeds as a donation, which was really generous of them. So that was kind of cool. We were supposed to doing a caroling event with the Millbrook Arts Crew, but it was unfortunately canceled due to the weather. It rained that day. So hopefully next year, that would be cool. I think a lot of people were asking if we could reschedule, but I think it was planned with the local school band groups. And I think rescheduling so close to the holidays just would have been really hard for people. So next year we'll do it. Kristen has been going to the fountains to help residents one-on-one with their ebook checkouts and like how to work Overdrive and Libby and stuff like that. And that's been going pretty well so far. And then I'm very excited that our Turning Outward report is complete, pending our mission statement approval tonight. And I'll be sharing it with the community in January. I sent out a copy for all of you to look at, and it seems like you all liked it. So thank you. I'm really excited about that. A lot of work went into it, and I think people will be interested in what we have to say with it. So that's all for outreach. For personnel, I'd like to start offering an employee assistance program for our staff. So the Duchess directors are looking at doing a group purchase, which would cost $23 a staff member, which is just under $300 for the year. And I put more information in the board document folder, so hopefully you had a chance to look at it. But basically, it offers free 24/7 like therapy for our staff. And we get 2 like training sessions a year. They provide HR assistance if I ever need it. And I think for that cost, it would be really worth it for our staff. So, but that's more of the budget stuff. Just a programming update. Our programming is still doing really well. Like I said at the beginning of my report, we've kind of slowed down for the last 2 weeks of December and first 2 weeks of January because of COVID and vacations and all that stuff. But generally, everybody's doing a great job with programming. I've also purchased 5 new tablets with early literacy and coding software for the youth services area using the Learn, Play, Create grant money. This is like a big chunk of what I wanted to use the money on. So we're going to be removing our old computers down there and then putting these tablets in instead, which I think will be an upgrade. Brenda, who works here, said her 8-year-old grandson had visited our library and was like, why are there no tablets? This is so old. And so now we're not going to be old. We're going to be updated. We've also purchased a robot coding classroom kit, and we're working with a local community member who's offered to volunteer their time to provide coding classes for kids. And we're going to be doing that in January and February. So that's going to be pretty cool. And then my last thing is for sustainability. We've created a new purchasing policy that focuses more on sustainability, but that can be voted on later. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Courtney. I guess right now what I would like to do is move on to the mission statement and strategic plan, which was sent around in advance. And this is really, as you know, the culmination of the turning outward process, our community conversations, discussions with the board, and ultimately the work by the Turning Outward team, which was led by Courtney, who did a fabulous job shepherding us all through this whole process to get to this document. So there's 2 separate things. I thought, if you agree, Courtney, that we should vote on the mission statement and then also separately the 3-year plan, unless we wanted to do it all at once. But I thought we would look at the mission statement and just see if there are any comments or any questions or any discussion at all before we take a vote on it. I guess I'll go ahead and read it and see if anybody has any thoughts. The Millbrook Library empowers our community to be resilient, informed, and equitable through leadership and collaboration, free and open access to ideas and information, and educational, enjoyable programs and services provided in a welcoming, inclusive environment. Thoughts? Comments? Everybody seems to like it.
That's lovely. I like it.
Terrific. All right, so then what I'm going to do is put this up for a vote. I make a motion to accept the new mission statement for the library as read. Is there a second?
Second, if I can, my second, you can hear me.
Yep. All right, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And does Elizabeth say yes too? All right, terrific. Thank you, Elizabeth. All right, so we have a new mission statement. Fantastic.
And I actually would just like to say something is that to me, it's very exciting, but it's much broader than I would have thought of as a library statement. And it's just, I find that very exciting because I've always just loved the library so much because of books. But it's very exciting to me that it's so much bigger than that. And I just love that. So I love that. I'm very excited about it. And thank you for doing all that.
Thank you, Kay.
Thank
Do you want
you.
to add
That means a lot.
anything, Courtney?
No, that means a lot. A lot of work went into this, and there were a
Yeah.
lot of drafts. So
Yeah,
we
I
have to
can see
hear.
Yeah, I can see that. And I love it. It's very wonderful.
Terrific.
Mhm.
So the next portion of this is the 3-year plan, so 2022 through 2025. And again, this came out of the turning outward process and the community conversations. And I hope you all had a chance to look it over. This really gives us a plan, like with some pretty clear steps. But we should also remember that it's a working document that we can come back to, and we will come back to, and hold ourselves accountable to reaching these goals and objectives as they are very clearly laid out here. In different sections, we have building community, diversity, sustainability and resiliency, finances, and the collections section. So, and under each, there's objectives with the clear action steps. So I open up the floor for any questions, discussions, or comments before we go to a vote. Well, I for one think it's really exciting to have such a clear path with these very doable action steps that we can measure, you know, our success against. So thank you, Courtney, for pulling this all together. I know it was a lot of work. So hearing none, I would then put forward a motion to accept the 3-year plan as distributed. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. And all in favor? Elizabeth, Mark?
Yes, aye.
Terrific. All right. So congratulations, Courtney. We now have our 3-year plan. And it's very exciting. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, it really is.
And all of this will be, you know, out there for the public to see, right? You know, it's going to be on the website. It's going to be wherever, you know, in social media. And the other piece that I noted is that we're going to have to add it to our bylaws. It's in our bylaws. So that will be something that we'll vote on in January. Just adding the new mission statement to our bylaws. Is there anything you want to add, Courtney, before we move on?
Just thank you again. Like I said, a lot of work went into this and a lot of people were involved. So I'm glad to have it done by the end of the year.
Yes, kudos. And it's also, I'm excited. I think that the public will really like to see the community report. It will be, I think, very satisfying for the people who attended and who were there to see, you know, their input out there for everyone to have a look at. So thank you again. This has been, it doesn't feel like a long road, but it really was. You know, it was like, here we go. So thank you. Well done. So the next important business that we have is review of the 2022 budget. So I would ask Mark to present, and Courtney too. I think you might want to help fill in some things, particularly around the personnel issues. And I, you know, obviously will chime in too. So Mark, if you would talk about our budget, which was sent around for people to look at.
Absolutely. I kind of shaved it down a bit. I know the last budget I had like about 4 years of review just because of what 2020 was like, but you know, now we're just in a more normal environment. So some of the changes I made were this was in terms of the income, contribution income. I think we had somebody that was donating 10,000 a year. They haven't been donating that specific to collection development for the past 2 years. so we reduced that, but we have a new contribution that's unrestricted from the same donor for 10,000 for the last 2 years. So we just kind of shifted those two numbers. Not a big change in terms of contributions. Grants, we kept the same, even though Courtney obviously gets a lot more grants than what the 20,000, but you know, we're not gonna go too far with that. Another one that I increased significantly is, and that we always look at this number when I'm reviewing our interest income relative to our budget. It's always like that huge number. I'm saying, oh, we're 1,000% higher than we need to be. So I increased the interest income considerably from 2021 to 2022. It's still 50% of what we've seen over the past few years. But I think it just hopefully will be a little bit better number, and it'll kind of make the budget look a little more reasonable, since usually we're projecting a huge loss and then we have all sorts of income coming in. And so just want to get kind of shave it down, get it a little closer where it needs to be. So that's in respect to the income. Expenses, other than the payroll portion, which I'll let Courtney talk a little bit about. We increased our programs budget by 2,000. And Courtney wanted to do a more specific program breakdown for the adult children's and teens program, which is great. Public relations and outreach, we increased. And yeah, and in terms of expenses, looking at where we are this current year in relation to our budget and where we're at, everything, there's no big outliers. So I think we're just increasing the budget for our own use as opposed to being reactionary. So I think it's appropriate in that sense. And then we have taxes and employee benefits, but that's kind of all tied to the payroll expenses as well. So Courtney, if you want, you feel comfortable talking about that one?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So our payroll expenses are going up significantly because this would include having Abby's position as a full-time position, which I really think that she deserves for a lot of reasons. But she is also, I know, actively looking for, not actively looking, but she did apply for another job opening that came up in Garrison for a full-time children's position. So I would really like to keep her here. And I'm sure, knowing Abby's work, that you do too. So this increase accounts for that. And it also accounts for another day for Kristen, because she has been telling me that she feels like she cannot do the job that she feels like she's capable of doing with just 3 days. And Kristen's been doing an amazing job so far, so I'd love to see what she can do with the fourth, honestly. And then it accounts for increases for the rest of the staff as well. Mostly cost of living adjustments. So, but I think the extra money is well worth it, especially with these two people. Like, the library without our staff is just an empty building, you know, without the people that work here, we're not much. So I think it's definitely worth the extra money to retain the really great team that we have here.
And I would just like to say a word of support for that as well. I just have witnessed firsthand, the three of you, how well you work together, and it really impresses me. You have a very respectful relationship with each other, and it seems like you all really work well together. And I think it would be very important for us to try to keep good people and keep you guys in particular together. You've really just started working together, and so you've done so much already. So I, for one, am in support of these increases for Abby and for Kristen.
And I agree also. I think people are the most important part of any organization, and they should be the most, it should be obvious that they're the most important part financially as well. I agree.
And in terms of like the money side of it, when we got our 414 back in 2016, it was predicting like a 2% per year increase in terms of our payroll expense. That's how they were applying it. And that's a very, very low amount. But then I also historically went over our payroll expenses all the way back to 2011 and kind of inserted some numbers of where we would be at if we actually were doing 2% per year. And it actually does fall in line. We've had a lot of years where we weren't increasing our expenses. We had a number of people, we weren't having a full-time director for a number of periods. And I also think the importance of the two main increases for our payroll expense is that prior to the last couple of years, for our programs, our program directors was a full-time position. And I think that's like a really important position. So I, again, totally support it. So yeah.
So is there anything else that Mark or Courtney want to add to the information for this budget presentation? Does anyone have any questions in particular?
I mean, last year we got 55,000 PPP loan that goes towards payroll expenses, and we're using it for that, so that's okay. And in 3 years, we're going to be working on our next 414. So I want to be where we should be in terms of our payroll planning, so that we can move forward and request an appropriate increase.
Sounds good. So not hearing any other questions or comments on the 2022 draft budget as presented, I would like to make a motion to approve this budget for 2022. Do we have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Sarah. And all in favor? All right.
Okay.
Yay.
I cannot wait to tell them. Thank you so much. I just feel like a load was just like lifted off my shoulders.
Well, I for one am very excited. I think this is an investment in the library. I mean, it's truly, it's really key, very important. So I wish I could be with you when you when you tell them, but good luck with that, and I hope all goes well and you have your team with you. All right, well, thank you, everyone. Those were the two main things. We still have some time before we lose our quorum. So I wanted to just kind of backtrack a little bit and go to, we have just a couple minor things. One of them includes our 2022 board meeting dates, which we are keeping the Tuesday meeting date throughout the year, if that is okay for everyone. And I just would like to vote on those proposed dates for 2022 for the year. Is there any, so I make a motion to accept the proposed meeting dates for 2022.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you.
Was that Elizabeth? I'm sorry.
Yes, yep. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great, thank you. All right, so that one's done. I guess I will come back to Mark. We just have to approve the monthly bills, which were sent around in our packets. And I also included backup, or Courtney included backup for the credit card, which appears in our bills each month. So she just broke out the specifics that appeared on the credit card. So we just thought that would be helpful as we're approving our bills each month.
Yeah, absolutely. So first, if everyone's had an opportunity to review the November 24th and December 9th bills to be paid, if anyone has any questions about them. All right, so I would like to make a motion to approve the bills for November 24th and December 9th.
I will second.
All right, super. And in respect to my financial report, honestly, there wasn't too much new with it. I did just get an email from Erica Vanderwater, who does our books, yesterday with like a more appropriately updated October set of financials and the November financials, but I'll probably just be presenting those in the January meeting. So I know I did do a write-up, but it wasn't much of anything. So that's all I have in terms of the financials, was just approving the bills.
All right. So then we have three other things which we would like to vote on tonight, if possible. Courtney, is there any order for these? No, okay. In terms of importance. There was one which was sent around in advance regarding the purchasing policy, which Courtney had mainly updated to include a section on sustainability. Courtney, do you want to say anything about that?
That's pretty much it. This is part of our sustainability program that we're working towards for our sustainability certification. And the other edits I made were just, I think I updated like the credit card amount and just like another couple things here and there, but it's mostly sustainability.
So does anyone have any questions on this purchasing policy, these updates for Courtney before we vote?
The revision for the credit cards, is the bottom part for credit cards, is that the existing amount or is that the revised? Because we did recently increase it to 10,000, right?
Oh, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that she did update that. I think maybe her changes didn't come through in the copy that you looked at.
Oh, yeah, I think because I did it in Word, it didn't save them in Google Drive. Okay, that's good to know.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, so the main
I did
change,
increase it to 10,000 though.
yeah, that was changed. She included online resources at the very beginning. And then there was the section on sustainability, which just talks about being responsible steward of its resources. So do you need to look at that, Mark?
I don't need to look. I mean, just attach it with the next one, but I don't really, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I thought, it's a good thing to have included and to meet our sustainability goals. So if there are no other questions, I would then make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second, thanks, Kay. All right, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. All right. And then we have the teen Discord policy. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, Courtney? Describe that if everyone had a chance to look at it, hopefully.
Sure. So this is something that RISA wants to do, is to start a teen library Discord server. Other libraries have done this. We did a lot of research on other library policies to create this policy. And basically the goal is to go to the teens where they are. And so many of them are on Discord already talking with their friends and playing games, that we thought this would be a good way to connect with them while they're at home, especially because obviously COVID is not going away anytime soon. So this kind of lays out the reason that we have it, which is to connect with the teens, the teen safety involved. They have to fill out an application to receive an invitation to the Discord server. It's by invitation only. And they have to have a library card so that we can verify they are who they say they are. And then Risa laid out like the code of conduct. We're gonna have a bot that moderates it, which can basically, if somebody's spamming or acting inappropriately, the bot will ban them for a certain period of time based on their infraction. So we do have like consequences listed out, the invitation request form all made, and I think this is something that's going to be really cool. Risa has some really great ideas of like hosting game nights over it, and I think it's definitely meant to be like a safe environment for teens, and I feel like we've constructed it in a way that cracks down on inappropriate use of the server pretty adequately. So
Does anyone have any questions regarding the policy or what they're planning here?
No, I just think that's a really great idea, Courtney. That's going to be really good.
it was all Risa's. I can't take credit.
That's a great idea. Good for her.
Yes, totally.
Okay, then I would like to put the team Discord policy up for a vote. Make a motion to accept the policy as distributed. Do I have a second?
I will second it.
Okay, Mark, and all in favor? Okay, thank you. All right, that was approved. Moving along, thank you, everyone. And then I think the last thing we had to vote on was the employee assistance program, which Courtney mentioned in her report. She sent around material describing that. And you said it was going to be about $300 a year. Is that? Yeah. And that's included in the budget.
Yeah, I put it in the one that I sent out to the finance committee.
Okay, great. So to me, it sounds like a good benefit to have for the staff should they need it. So I make a motion to accept the employee assistance program as distributed. Do we have a
I'll
second?
second it.
Mark, second. And all in favor?
Aye.
Fantastic. All right. Okay, we made it through all the votes. Thank you, everyone. I'm just looking to see now that we jumped around. I think I just want to say thank you to everybody for another year of service on the library board. I've been greatly appreciative of everyone. And I feel like we've accomplished a lot this year. Thank you, Courtney and everyone. And I'm just looking forward to 2022. I hope that one thing that Courtney and I talked about, if I get to continue as president, that Courtney and I are going to work on trying to jazz up our board meetings a little bit. Think about maybe bringing staff in to do some presentations so it's not all on Courtney and we'll all get to hear more from everybody. And maybe some guest speakers or things that could be informational and interesting at the same time and interactive. So, and we're also trying to think of ways that we can kind of reboot our committee structure and committee work so that we're getting more done in between meetings. And hopefully that will help move some of our goals along that we now have for our new strategic plan. So I just again want to say thank you to everyone and just open up the floor if there's anything anyone would like to say or have any questions or comments or anything for Courtney.
Yeah, Courtney, I just have one quick question. The community report that you worked on, is it something I can share with other like groups or non-for-profits?
Yeah, definitely as soon as I like do the big announcement. So I'm thinking of doing it like the first or second week of January. I figure it's a good way to start out the new year. And also I'm trying to take vacation this week and next week. So yeah, but definitely as soon as I have it like officially announced, I'm going to put on our website. It's going to be on our newsletter. I'm going to print out copies for in the library to share with other places. So share it everywhere.
Okay, will do. All right, super. Thank you.
Is there anything else anyone wants to discuss or bring up tonight? All right, well, we did it, guys. Thank you. We did it. We were speedy and efficient. So thanks once again. Thanks, Mark, for all your work on the budget. And I hope everyone has a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Everybody stay healthy and well. And we'll see you.
Thank
You.
Happy holidays to you.
Yep, you too. Happy holidays.
Okay, take care.
Can we make a motion to
Oh
leave?
yeah, sorry. Thank you, Carrie. We're gonna make a motion to adjourn our
I will
meeting.
second that one.
Thanks, everybody. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.